Okay, our first question is, what are the legalities of sending meeting notices, prior written notices, IEPs to a family electronically? Kalin, I think you've done some work in this area, so I'm going to go ahead and have you answer the question.
Yeah, this is such a good question, especially now. But basically, there is no federal restriction on this, or like IDA doesn't prevent us from doing this as long as we're taking steps to keep the integrity of the process in place. It really leaves it up to the states to decide what they want to do. And with COVID, a lot of states were forced to clarify their policies on this and to clarify whether or not they were going to allow parental consent to be received electronically as well. And so in 2020, OSEP, the Office of Special Education Programs, put out some guidance with COVID related to electronically sending parents the due process paperwork and the procedures. So we'll put a link to that in the chat as well as a few others. But I believe Desi, who asked this question, her email address was from South Dakota, and I was able to find that in South Dakota, their policy is to leave it up to the states or districts to decide within that state whether or not they want to allow it. So the first step would be to figure out what your district is doing. And if you're part of the decision-making process of like, should we do this or should we not do this? A few things to keep in mind are just that if you do go forward with it, have an opportunity for parents to opt out if they don't feel comfortable with it, to make sure to protect student confidentiality. And then just to make sure that any consent received electronically is also documented in the student's master file.